Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Tony Babarino. Thanks for being here today. And we have a special guest on regarding the smoke, fire, and other damages. And we know that you guys probably have a bunch of questions, and maybe there's some questions you don't even have yet. You're trying to wrap your mind around the situation we have with the Silverado Fire. Big thanks to all the firemen, firewomen, all the first responders. Thank you, and police, and all the other rescue team. It seems to be behind us, and now there's a lot of smoke that we had. And I'm sure there are people who are going through their house. They may smell smoke, they may see residue, and they're thinking, okay, so what do I do? And do I need this company or do I not need that? So I'm bringing in a company, same day restoration, where they're going to talk with some ideas, tips, maybe some questions to help you out. And if you like what you hear, feel free to reach out to them, because some of you may need their service and many of you may not, but you don't know yet. That's what we're here for. So let me bring in my guest, Rebecca Plourde, Same Day
Hi,
Restoration. Hi, welcome.
how are you?
I can breathe now. No more smoke.
That's
Replace the
good.
AC filter. I know. So, and now that it's over, that's why I reached out to a company like yours right away. So, big thanks to you for being so nice to be able to work with me to make this come together really fast, because it normally takes a few days. Talk about fast response. You guys aren't kidding.
That's why it's same
Well,
day.
there you go. The action is in the name. So I want to go ahead and let you take a moment, please, so people know who they're listening to. They're not here for this. They're here for you. Um, Let them know who you are. Let's talk just a moment about your company so we can get to some questions which people are probably waiting for. That's what they want to hear. So by all means, Rebecca, take the floor.
We're a restoration company. We're based out of Irvine. We've been in business since 2007. We specialize in water mitigation, mold remediation, and smoke damage. And basically, we're in business to go ahead and help people. These are unfortunate events that they are not expecting to happen. And so, whether it's a flood, smoke, mold, we're here to help.
Wow, that was so you basically do almost everything except build a house? I don't even know if you go that far, do you?
We do. We are a general contractor, so we have a reconstruction department as well. So we pride ourselves on being able to be there A
Oh.
to Z. We have customers who they want to work with the same people, they want the same project managers, and the consistency is key, right? You
Hmm.
get one company involved, and if that same company is the one running your project, you're less likely to have issues arise. Your scheduling is going to run smoother. So we have from the beginning when we show up as an emergency response to the end when your home is getting put back together, we're there from beginning to end for you.
Oh, so if people wanted to, and folks, this is just Rebecca going to share some questions and answers. Answer your questions too if you have them. Write them in the comments. We're live. Now's the time to ask your questions. And for those of you watching the playback, if you have questions, Rebecca's contact information will be below. Feel free to have a conversation. Rebecca, if they call you, there's no obligation or anything to come to their house and assess things. Is
Nope,
that correct? Nothing?
that is correct.
Free, as in free, free?
Free, free. Our goal is to help people. No one asked for a fire in their backyard. So if you have questions, call us. We will be more than happy to answer them. There may be times where we're going to say your comments or your questions are really, really specific, and the only way for me to answer them is really to be on site. Then, that's going to be my recommendation. But we're here to help. Again, you didn't ask for the fire to start. So whatever we can do to help you.
Well said. And that's really nice. I'm sure there are people who are watching or going to watch the video think, oh, this is going to be a whole big mess to deal with. Who do I call? And that's why when I saw some people in the Irvine community put up your card, people had nice things to say about you, which are all true, by the way. It is true. She is awesome and she's friendly, as you can see. Um, so that's why I had her on. So, Rebecca, in advance, thank you for being here. Thank you for the time. Let's go ahead and get to the meat of this with the questions that we put together to help people. Again, just to start a dialogue. So, right in the beginning, after the fire, people smell smoke. Maybe they see residue or something in between. I don't do your job, so I'm speculating. I got lucky. I don't see or smell anything where I'm at. Wow. But what would be some of the signs as examples that people have smoke damage? I mean, other than obviously a big ball of flame in your house, but what are
Yeah.
God forbid, hope you're not there to see that. But what would be some examples or signs that people would see and go, uh-oh, I think I'm going to need to call same-day restoration?
So the top three are going to be smell, soot and ash, so visually in the home, and then physical damage, right? So physical damage is you can see charring, kind of like what you mentioned, like the home was actually on fire. You're going to know you had smoke damage because it was on fire. But the smell and the soot and ash are going to be your top ones for the smoke damage. Some people aren't sure if what they're smelling is smoke or not because you get very accustomed to it very quickly, right? Our office is in Irvine, so we had the same issue and I'm walking in and out of my building and I'm like, smells like fire everywhere. That's kind of my take on it. So it's the lingering smell that you're going to notice. And then also, like I said, the visual soot and ash that could be sitting at windowsills by your doors. That's how you're going to know you have some smoke damage.
Okay. Um, somebody's asking a question right now that I just, I just knew. I mean, obviously, we're going to ask this question because a lot of things in life are not free. I mean, I do what I can for free. Like I said, I'm just a real estate agent. I love what I do. I love my community. I'm honored when I'm able to help people. But there's people I actually just help because they need information. It's okay, right? Sometimes it's nice to do the right thing just because it's the right thing. Just like your company, you told me oh so many times they can call you out there, you can take a look. And I thought that was very amazing. You said, well, you know, we don't charge them to let them know. And if they don't need our services, we tell them, which I thought was really respectful as a company to say that. And I didn't ask you that, you told me. So
Yeah,
you guys already knew. So that says a little something, which excites me to even more so to have you here because when you have a company that seems like they have good character off the bat, that's a nice feeling, and there's a little trust there. So we do have a specific question here. I want to jump on that right away because I always want to
sure.
respect the viewers because we're here for them. Um, so we have here Melanie Mars asks, "Will my insurance cover smoke damage?"
Okay. So
The
that is a
question,
very common question.
yes,
It
it
is.
is. But you know what? Take it
Is
away because this is not my cup of tea right here. Go ahead.
So that is a very common question is who's going to pay for my cleaning, right? So basic homeowners policies should cover smoke damage, including ash, soot, and smoke removal. However, one thing that is very important when you're dealing with an insurance company is that you as the homeowner took the steps in order to mitigate any further damage. So if you're noticing 2 days after the fire, 3 days after the fire, or even right now it's at 82% containment, that you're noticing smoke damage, definitely want to go ahead and check into that. But it is your responsibility as the homeowner to mitigate as much damage as you can. So payment for the damage to say your walls, your ceilings, that's going to fall under your dwelling, whereas your carpet, furniture, clothes, that's going to fall under your contents. Another very common question we get is, well, I'm a renter. How does that work? Well,
Oh,
as a renter, you have renter's insurance. That covers your contents. Those are your items inside the home that you're renting. The homeowners or the landlord's policy is going to cover the dwelling. So if you have any questions about how is this going to work with my renter's policy, or I want to go ahead and get you guys in here to clean, but I'm not sure my landlord's doing, you can go ahead and give us a call if that is a little bit more of a specific question. But most basic homeowners policies do include smoke damage.
wow, that's really good to know because end of the day, no matter how much money or how little you have, nobody wants to give up money for something that's not fun. Your
Yeah,
house is burnt, smells, water, mold, your car breaks down, a baseball comes crashing through your window. Nobody wants to spend money on something like that. We want to be able to paint the house and have a nicer lawn or buy things for our children, which I do every day, which is why I try to sell a lot of houses because my children, my two little girls, I don't like saying no. And I'm daddy, so I have to say yes. I mean, just
it's true.
wait till they ask for like a rocket ship. I mean, this is Irvine. Come on, Daddy, come on. Where's my Bentley? I'm working on it. So,
Hold
so
on,
that
it'll be here soon.
really. Let's move on to the next thing. People are probably wondering the process.
Hmm.
If you were to go into a home and you say, okay, you don't need our service, it's just a cleaning. Okay, that's pretty easy. But if you go in and say, oh man, you do have smoke damage, and considering the topic of where we are with the fire, that no house is technically burned, but generally, what would be the process of smoke damage? If you come in and say, yeah, there is some smoke damage, here's what we need to do. We have to call these people, do this, set you up with this. It's going to take this long. Here's the estimate. Could you take like a minute or two or three and really focus on the process? Maybe
Yeah,
not so much that when the house burns down with a bunch of flame and fire, because in this example, we're not there, but
right.
maybe in the realm of if somebody has a, bona fide smoke damage, but not necessarily burned in flames, what would be an example of many possible examples of the process, just so there's some reasonable expectation, because no doubt a lot of people never had to go through this and they're all listening to you.
So I can start with there's two different areas we're going to tackle, which I kind of just went over when we were talking about the homeowner policy. You have your structure and you have your contents, right? So as far as structure, the first thing that if you do have smoke damage, we're going to recommend, even with the fire still going, is getting, depending on where you're at, getting those air scrubbers in. They have a carbon filter that you can use. It's an air filtration device. After, I'm going to stress this, after the fire is out, right? We go by certain guidelines. It's the IICRC. You guys can look it up. You'll get a lot of information from there. But the first thing that they teach in smoke and odor restoration technician class is you have to get rid of the source of the smoke or the odor, right? I can't put the fire out. If I could, guys, I promise I would. What I can say is while the fire is still going on, get started with the air filtration. Once it is finished, it's at 100% containment, fire's out, the process then continues on to air duct cleaning with negative pressure. You've got complete wipe down of walls, ceilings, any hard surfaces. After that, you've got steam cleaning with a deodorizing agent of carpeted areas, content manipulation. So we're going to move your items around the home. We try not to take them offsite if we don't need to, just because it's preferable for most people, especially with COVID, that their items stay in the home. You've got a wipe down of the furniture, steam cleaning of all of the furniture as well. So your couches, armchairs, your mattresses, all of that's included, as well as ozone treatment. And then one that a lot of people don't necessarily think about, but it is a pending a further inspection, is insulation removal in the attic. Something that I explain to my clients when they have water damage is your insulation is kind of like a sponge, like it's in the wall, right? You don't really think about it being there, but when it gets wet, it just kind of soaks it up, right? The same thing with smoke. It's going to take that odor and it just chills out. It's found its new best friend in its new home. So if you have that and upon inspection, it does need to be taken out, we will remove that. And then you've got power washing exterior of the home. So this is to get rid of any of the ash. We have a client in Laguna Beach right now just had his roof cleaned, and the before and after pictures, even in Laguna, are it's a huge difference. So that's kind of the process overall for any smoke clean. Depending on the severity, you may need your air ducts cleaned twice. You may need your air scrubbers in there for an extensive amount of time. Your filters may need to be changed twice a day. I've seen filters be in for a couple of hours and they're black. I mean, black as jet black hair you can think. So that's kind of the process for smoke damage removal.
So the air scrubbers are devices that like fans with filters that pull in the air and try to capture the particles and blow the clean air out.
Yep,
Is that it?
exactly. So we use
Oh,
a HEPA 500, has 5 filters in there. It
five.
basically sucks, yeah, sucks
Wow.
all of it in, cleans it for you through those 5, and then spits it back out.
Wow. So you guys obviously have a process where you use these scrubbers and you check the filters at certain periods, then keep
Hmm.
changing them out as often as needed. That's all part of the
Yep.
process.
Yeah, we
So
do
pretty
spend
much
time
hands.
changing it out.
So it's hands off. Once they hire you, they just, I guess, hotel, family, or friends they can stay with, and of course you would want to have an insurance adjuster like the ones you guys know, that probably let them know, hey, here's some things you want to ask your insurance company, and
Hmm.
here's you have to ask them these questions because they may not necessarily be overly generous. It's insurance. They're going to do only what they need to do, and it's fair enough. And it's nice to know there's someone there to say, here's some questions you're going to want to ask them right now, because you want to minimize surprises. That's one thing no one's going to want is surprises. That's why we have
Right.
people like yourselves. The same, just like in my business, one would want to do as much as possible to reduce surprises, reduce the stress, and have a happy outcome. Um, Now, that being said, uh, we're talking about, restoration companies. There's all kinds out there, just like there's all kinds of agents out there, um, which is unfortunate. There's probably too many that shouldn't be in here, but it's like any business. The better ones, will be known. Anyway, that being said, some of the people are probably going to ask themselves, well, when do I need a restoration company? And I know you do more than just smoke, but
Hmm.
if you can touch on the smoke issue and maybe, just to be clear, let everybody know the other things you do as well, because you're here now. Why not take a moment and elaborate? Well, when would they need a restoration company for smoke and everything else? Can you
Yeah.
elaborate on that just so people can feel more in control of their own decisions by having some information to make a better decision? Because I probably would not know exactly when I need one unless it's blatantly obvious, like I come home and there's a 4-inch high ocean in my floor of water, and well,
Hmm.
there you go. So can you elaborate on some of that, just so people be clear, because some people probably think they know, but let's take that quick 1 minute and just elaborate on that if you could, please.
Yeah. So you have basically three routes you can go, to kind of generalize it as much as possible. So
Mhm.
one is you can take care of it yourself. So this is in some case you can ventilate the home. Again, I want to stress, remember, do not open the windows or ventilate the home while the fire is still going. However, once the fire is out, you can take like a box fan, place it in the window, draw the smoky air out. You can also replace, I think you mentioned that you did this, was you replace your filters in your HVAC, and then you can go ahead and run it, and it'll go ahead and filter out the ventilation system and any smoke related particles. You can wipe down all the hard surfaces, maybe hire a cleaning crew, maid service to come in and just clean everything down. That's one option. I have a little bit of smoke, but I don't really notice anything lasting, and I just want to make sure I don't have it. Your route two is you can mostly do it on your own, but you're noticing that the air is a little more smoky than normal. So you can go ahead and, like I said, you have those HEPA air scrubbers that you can use, and we have those to rent. So if you're just like, hey, Bex, like I would like to get a couple of these in my home, I think that's really all I need. We're here for that. Route three, this is the one that is much more invasive. So it's when smoke and soot damage and the residue is moderate to heavy, and you can't complete the smoke and soot removal on your own. So that's when you would want to hire a professional service. This is, an example of when you can see the soot and ash in your home. I've actually done several inspections this week, some in the EVAC area in Irvine and Orchard Hills, where they had soot and ash sitting in their windowsills, had been blown through rooms. Their white furniture had a black layer over it. And this is where you'd probably want to call in a restoration company to go ahead and assist you with that, because it's going to be much more extensive.
Wow. That is that is right to the point. Thank you for that. Man, this is why we bring people like you in here. This is exactly why I find companies that are thoughtful and good like yours, where I can bring it out to the people so people can go, "Oh, there are some vendors that are pretty cool." So, that's what excites me, because when you find something you're happy about, how do you not share it? And speaking of that, speaking of sharing or not sharing when it comes to money, that question about who pays for cleaning, um, in the interest of just being consistent, can you just a fast, short recap regarding about,
Yeah.
again, folks, these are not definitive answers. There might be unique situations. So
Hmm.
take everything we're both saying with a grain of salt. And if you're not sure, call Rebecca. They can come out. If they feel like you don't need their service, they'll tell you. If you do, then have that discussion. But just for that fast recap, for the sake of people who might have just missed it in the beginning, which is probably the most important question on people's minds. They're all important questions. But I ain't gonna pay for this. Who's gonna pay for this? Because again, it's money. It's not a happy thing. Let's do a quick recap, and then we could, go on to a couple of other questions to incrementally wrap this up, because we want to get those last few in there while people are still with us.
Yeah, sure. So again, it's just going to be your homeowner's insurance if you guys decide to go through that. Most homeowners policies do cover smoke damage. The easiest thing I can say is to give them a call, ask the questions. Homeowners policies are going to cover it's going to be under two. So you're going to have your structural and you're going to have your contents. So structure is going to cover the home itself. So walls, ceilings, hard surfaces. And then the contents is going to cover your items. So beds, mattresses, furniture, rugs, clothes, all of that's going to be covered. And then I did mention this before, is that if you are a renter with a landlord, if you have renter's insurance, they will cover your contents. And if you are a landlord, your landlord's policy would cover the actual home. That's kind of a sum up of it.
Right. And again, folks, just so we're clear, we don't know your policy. We're only on video.
Hmm.
Read your policy, call the insurance company. If you're a landlord, have that conversation with them, because every person may have a unique scenario. So the answers that Rebecca is giving regarding this are examples of what may or may not apply. The
Yep.
ultimate answer is going to be have that conversation with your insurance or landlord. That being said, hey, quick question. If this is something where you go into someone's house and say, you don't need us, you just need a cleaning. You are already, I guess, associated with people who just come in, and if it's just a cleaning, they can use who they want, I'm sure, but it's kind of nice, in my opinion, to keep it all under one roof, pardon the pun. Speaking of homes. But that being said, but do you have companies that you've worked with and trust, and you already know the quality of their work, which is
Yes.
why you would dare say, well, we say call these people.
Yeah.
Can you take about 30 seconds and expound on that, please?
Yeah. So I know we're speaking specifically about smoke, but this is really with anything that we work with clients is if I don't need to charge you, I will try not to. So if it's, hey, I'm looking for someone to do testing for my home. Cool. I know some environmental companies. I work with them on a daily basis if I do need to do work. So let me refer them over. So for your smoke claims or lack of, and you're just like, I need someone who can really come in and clean my home, give me a call. I have a couple of different recommendations I can give you and be more than happy to help you out with that. Again, our thing is no one asked for a fire in their backyard. So even if you're not using us right now for smoke damage, we're still here for the community. So give us a call. We'll give you as many recommendations for air duct cleaning, cleaning of the home, whatever we can help with.
So you have enough resources because of your company's experience. Obviously, with time and experience becomes uh, real world knowledge and contacts. The same thing with me. There are people I meet in my profession where it's like finding a golden nugget under a rock in the mud, and you're like, oh my God. You, as an appraiser, you've been doing this 38 years consistently. What's your phone number? So that, well, in my case, when I'm working with the listing and I say, well, here are some strategies. If you want to do this, I know these people, and here's why I trust them, but use who you want. And that's why with your company, you've been around long enough that you probably have those contacts. That's why I asked, are there cleaning companies that you trust? Which is
Mhm.
nice, because if it's a third party reference, instead of going at it
Yes.
blind and just like picking a name out of Google, boop, that guy. Because you don't know if you're being over and undercharged. Well, people I refer when I have certain things, whether it's cleaning, I know a guy that's a miracle worker for carpet stains. If you have a brown carpet and you got bleach, it's white, he can come in and stain it and it looks great. So when I
That's
refer
awesome.
people, it's rare, but it's amazing. I have his number. So I definitely appreciate referrals. I think most people appreciate referrals. Like, hey, who do you recommend?
Yeah.
That's where a lot of business is done. I mean, obviously, your service. We're all glad your service is here. Just like my mechanic, I love him, but I hope I never need him. But
Yeah.
but he's good. He is. I mean, he's honest as the day is long. Um, just as we're getting close to the end here, are there general tips that you could recommend for homeowners if they're going and their AC filter is black? Are there things that you could recommend to the homeowner now? So if they think they need your service and it turns out they do need your service, what are some what are a handful of things you want them to be aware of? Because the first thing that popped in my head is, oh man, where am I going to stay? Or, are there, there's certain food items that you got to get rid of, or you should get rid of, or I'm just randomly pulling these out because I'm desperate to know, as some people might also be curious, what are three, four, five quick tips people need to be aware of when it comes with smoke damage, whether it's cleaning it themselves or possibly having to deal with your company? Any tips you think of any value they probably don't know? Because I don't know many. How many burning houses have I been in?
Zero. Let's try not to get that on camera. Okay, so one would be ask questions.
Hmm.
Call me, call another restoration company, call whoever you need to, but don't be afraid to ask questions. This is not, you're not the only person that's not going to know the answer. Most homeowners are not well versed in smoke claims unless you work in restoration or you're married to a firefighter. So that would be my one. And again, we're not going to charge you for you to give me a call and say, hey, Bex, saw you with Tony. I'd love to ask you some questions and find out this. And it's not $1 a minute. It's let me see what I can do to help. The other thing I like to remind people is in your homeowner's policy, if you are going through your insurance, go ahead and ask about your ALE. This is your additional living expenses. So if your home is not habitable, so say, you've got a kid with asthma or you yourself have a medical problem and you're not able to stay in the home, you can always let your insurance know. And you guys do have, and again, check your insurance policies, like Tony said, that you guys should have coverage for you to not live on site. So if it's something where you really can't live in the home, call and ask your insurance. And that's why, again, my biggest tip is call and ask the questions. They're not dumb questions. We're here to help. So, and public safety for us is number one, right? There are things in the smoke that you shouldn't be inhaling. Sometimes there can be plastic. There are other kind of chemicals. You don't want to be inhaling that. So whatever we can do to help you keep you guys safe as a community, that's what we're here to do.
Wow. Boy, it's almost a little frightening to hear all these little nuances like, oh, as you're talking, I'm going, oh, that's a good one. Keep going. Well, that's why, like with the video like this, when it lives in perpetuity on Facebook and YouTube, we hope you guys out there, we hope you don't need the service. But if you do, and hopefully insurance company's going to play it cool and take care of you, at least now moving forward, if you're in a situation where there's I think you handle flood, mold, fire, smoke. Is that correct?
And board ups. We're really an emergency services. So even like when we had rioting, we're always there to help with every situation.
Wow. So you guys are like well, firemen come first. When they're done, then you guys show up and say, "So, what do we have here?" Hmm?
Yeah. It's like, hey
Because
guys, what's up?
well, that's why it's restoration. It's in the name. It's here's my house, here's my house, here's my house now, and then you got to put it back. And that's why we have insurances. Thank goodness. Something you hope you never need, but we're glad to have it. So, Rebecca, your number is scrolling along the bottom. We have it on the posts out there. Anywhere you guys see this video, if you didn't catch it live in the recording, her information will be below. If you're not sure or are sure, feel free to, if you're going to call who you're going to call, fine. But I would recommend, after seeing and listening to Rebecca, you probably have nothing to lose by giving her a call, discuss your situation, have them send people out there, because you want to make sure you're doing the right, best thing for your family. And we just finished with a heck of a week with the smoke and fire. We're still dealing with COVID. There's been earthquakes in different parts of the world. 2020's been pretty tough. So, and
Yeah.
Rebecca's company is here to help on the category of well, in this case, the smoke. So if you guys have any damage or no damage, but maybe you need someone to come like clean the outside of the house, clean the house, get that smell out. Just like with real estate agents, call who you feel most comfortable with. But I like to hope that you guys out there, at the minimum, give Rebecca a call, text her, email, reach out. There's no obligations to anything. Rebecca, any last minute notes or tips or last minute thoughts while we have the audience to share? Because we've been getting some pretty good eyeballs on this thing, and this is an open platform. It's just real time. You're on, kiddo. So if you have anything to elaborate and share with, thoughts, feelings, suggestions, anything to give comfort and knowledge to the people watching as we start to wind down this conversation, I want to give you a chance to kind of take over for at least a full minute and just talk to the people out there regarding your company, your services, and any thoughts. Because we had that fire. It was scary because Irvine's supposed to be the safest city in just about the world almost, and then we get the fire in our backyard, my backyard. I have listing appointments that we had to cancel because of the fire and smoke. So I know the first question I'm going to be asking my listing appointments, 2 in Portola Springs, 1 in Altair, and 1 in Orchard Hills. And the first thing out of my mouth is going to be, do you even think you have any smoke issue or smoke damages? Because you saw my video. Did you want to talk to Rebecca? So that's me. But please have a chance to talk to the people heart to heart on your thoughts and feelings and your company.
Honestly, what I would like to say is that we're sorry that you're going through this, right? We know you didn't ask for this. So our thoughts are with you guys. If you guys need anything, give us a call. And then if you are not sure, and you're like, I like Rebecca, she seems great. However, I'm not sure if I need it. My one tip would be document. So, You think that you see some gray or some soot or some ash by your door, but you're not sure. So you're just going to clean it up. That's fine. Take a picture, take a video, take the documentation so that if in a couple of days you're like, the fire is completely contained, I thought this, odor was going to go away, I thought the smoke smell was going to go away, and it's still here. And now I think, you know what, I need to call Bex and maybe get same day out here. That's fine. Keep the documentation so that when it comes down to it, you can say, look, this is what was here, right? It's helpful for homeowners policies with your renter's insurance and for us too, right? We're there now a couple of days after. So definitely do the documentation on it.
Rebecca, we have people asking questions, and here's a good one.
All right.
Why should I choose your company? I get this almost every time I'm on a listing appointment. Well, Tony, why should I pick you as an agent? I have my answers for that, but why? But now, see, I would, as an in-between guy, I would say, because Rebecca's so cool. She's here taking the time
I mean,
to
I am
share.
awesome.
That is true. I'll give you that much. You picked up that phone on one ring. You were like on 7 cups of coffee. Like, wow. So Melanie's asking, why should I choose your company? And Mario Torres is asking, I'd like to know, what type of documentation do you do?
Okay.
So there's 2 really good ones. So let's take the first
Yeah.
one with Melanie. Melanie, why should we choose you?
So I'd say one of the biggest reasons why our customers end up choosing us and why I would choose to go with us is our communication with our homeowners and our clients. We have an extensive team in our mitigation, our smoke, and overall that will go ahead and let you know each day what's going on with your project, right? So you aren't familiar with this process. You get an email that's going to go ahead and break everything down for you. You're going to know who your project manager is. As the director of operations here, I'm always available to answer questions for our clients as well. But it's really, we're family owned, right? So for us, family is very important. So our clients become family when they sign on with same day. So getting you back into your home the way that it was before, it's pre-loss condition, right? That is our number one goal is to get you back into your home safely. So you become family. I think that's one of the really good reasons to choose our company. As far as Mario and your documentation, one of the things that I love doing, and it is like my baby here, is called a Matterport. So Matterports are awesome. If you've ever looked for a home on Zillow or Redfin, you notice they have like a 3D walkthrough of the home, right? So you can go look at it, you can tour it. We do the same thing. So we have that camera, and on each home, we'll go ahead and do a Matterport. It makes the documentation for your adjuster when we bill for insurance, or if you ever need it in the future, for you to see what was the damage before we started our work. But we also do another scan when we've completed any kind of demo that might need to be done, or at the end of a smoke project in order to show kind of a before and after. And our technicians are trained to do photo documentation and videos. So they do that every single time they're there. They'll go ahead and document it. So we can go ahead and just show you not only the process, but we can show you why we're being honest about what we're billing the insurance company.
Whoa. And you just made all that up on the top of your head. You've never done that before. You know what I hear? I hear experience, because your answers are, they're detailed enough, but not so detailed because, you have to talk to the people. But
Mhm.
man, I mean, boy, I feel like I got to step up my game here. I should be asking you harder questions now. I didn't know you knew so much. Oh my gosh.
Good training.
Um, yeah, no kidding. Um, let's see. So yeah, folks, we're at 34 minutes. People are asking questions. We got quite a lot of people looking. Anyway, if you guys, while you're watching, please share this, because you don't know who else is out there that isn't watching this right now. Even if you're watching the playback, please share it around Irvine, especially because you don't know who wishes they could have gotten this information sooner. By you just doing this, a click of a mouse and sharing this, you could be helping people, known and unknowns. If there's ever a time to share something because it is a good thing to do just because it is, please do that, because again, Rebecca's information might help them ask better questions and make better decisions, even if it's working with somebody else. It's just information. Rebecca's here on a Sunday, putting the time in, right?
I
Hey,
am.
my kids want to go out and play. I said, hey, daddy's got to talk to his Irvine community people, okay?
Yep.
You want more toys? Let me do my thing, kid. No, that's okay. They're actually playing. We got them some toys because of the fire. We were displaced for a while. We were at the Marriott. Oh boy, half of Irvine was there. The
Hmm.
other half were at I think the Hilton or something. So it was like abandoned ship. And being that we get very comfortable with Irvine being safe, Irvine is safe, Irvine is safe. Then you get a fire in the backyard, literally a few blocks away. We're just caught by surprise. So that's what made me feel motivated to get someone like you on. And again, community, the Irvine community, the reason why I have her on is I saw that some of you guys out there posted about her, Rebecca, and her company. Someone posted the card, and I thought, well, if my community is already saying nice things about Rebecca and her company, then that's enough for me to bring her on a Sunday in a day. I mean, you can't do podcasts faster than that. I mean, my goodness. So I am thankful for your help, Rebecca, and I'm sure a lot of people out here, they probably have a bazillion questions. If they're watching the video playback, they probably have questions of but this, but that, but. So I would suggest those of you who are sticking around that long, post a question in the comments. You could messenger me if there's additional quick questions you guys have. We can always bring Rebecca on for a quick short Q&A. We could do a 10-minute quickie and just go boom 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 through some of those questions. But better is just call Rebecca directly. You can see she's very nice and friendly,
I
right?
try.
You do. And by the way, she's really like this. This isn't a stage. She's actually this nice.
Get my team on here, they'll probably agree. So,
See?
but my
There
whole
you go.
team is like this. So we're a family here in the office. So if you don't get me, you will get one of them, and they are just as bubbly and fun and outgoing, and they have just as much experience, if not more so. So
Yeah.
feel free to call anyone.
Especially dealing with like mold, water, smoke, and fire. The
Hmm.
people calling you are going to be pretty unhappy to say the least. So it's nice to know that you guys have good spirits and that you understand the process. This is what you do, right? This is
Hmm.
your living, but I'm sure you're going to be competitive or even better so. And I think you handle all of Orange County. Is that about
Hmm.
right in terms of your
Yeah,
zone?
we handle all of Orange County, and then like I said, we are family owned, so we have another location in San Diego as well.
Oh, wow. And I like family owned. I mean, there's pluses and minuses to everything, but when something's family owned, there's a certain warm and fuzzy with that. I know that for myself, the company I work with in the Remax Premier Realty, our office is in Irvine. The the person that owns it, his father, farther back, started it, owned the building. Now the son's running things. So I'm in this similar situation where it's a franchise, but it's owned by family, and it's really nice that you can have people like that.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk to the owner. Oh, you mean my dad? Uh, yeah, which is like try doing. Hey, not try doing that with the corporation. I want to speak to the person in charge. Well, that would be the senior vice president assistant. Well, it's Saturday at 2 o'clock. Can I talk to him? You have to wait till Monday. Boy, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're probably like myself, 24/7. I mean, in
we
your
are.
case, yeah. In my case, it's 24/7. I want to sell my house. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll take that call. But with
I've
you
had that
guys,
call. We have
oh
had
my,
those calls. Yeah,
oh my gosh,
absolutely.
you're watching Netflix at 1 a.m. and you get that phone call. What? A flood? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, our technicians are trained to dispatch and arrive on scene within 60 minutes. We have an on-call technician on at all times, so our phones
Wow.
are always available. So we have had that 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone's home was flooding. It was, I think it was 2 stories, and there we go. Our team is on its way out.
Boy, the stories you can probably tell. I mean, we don't want to get into that right now, but there are probably horror stories. I mean, it's okay, but that's why you're here. So, Rebecca, uh, same day restoration. Thank you so much for being here. I know I'm thankful and appreciative of your time. It's I think it's good that people out there where those who are watching the playback probably appreciate these nuggets you were sharing, and I hope I'm speaking to my fellow Irvine residents. I hope this helps you feel better about the smoke situation, and if you're not sure who to talk to, don't call me because I'm just going to refer you to Rebecca because that's what she does, and then you can get things back to normal as much as it can be, and maybe exactly back to the way it was. Everyone's situation is unique. I would recommend at least have a conversation with Rebecca. Rebecca, could they at least have a conversation with you and you guys can go from
Yep.
there?
Our number's on the bottom of the screen, but absolutely, yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead and give me a call
there it
anytime.
is. There it is, right
Right there, right there.
there. There.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I am Tony Babarino. I live and work in Irvine. The company I'm with is Remax, right in the heart of Irvine. You guys thinking about looking or selling or buying? I mean, come on, there's no mystery. That's what I do. But I bring on these guests in terms of the real estate topics other than the market update, market update. I try to find something in addition or different because I want to help. Even if that means I just help you and you go about your business, it's okay. I'm thankful that you guys are here listening, watching, sharing, liking, subscribe, and follow. I appreciate it. And if you want to see more guests like her, that lady right there, I know you really don't want to see this. I'm sorry. I thought I looked like Brad Pitt. I was mistaken. Maybe more like Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. Iron Man, I wish. Hey, all right. Enough of the fun and love. Thank you, everyone. Rebecca, most importantly, thanks to the firefighters and first responders. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Now that we are moving into the next page of this big chapter of life, contact Rebecca, see what their company can do, or see if they tell you you don't need them. I mean, how nice is that? I do the same thing. If I think someone shouldn't sell, I tell them don't, and here's why. So that's why I feel like you and I are in a very similar cut of cloth, and that's
Yeah,
why I felt very happy to have you on. That's why I was on top of you for like 36
you
hours.
were.
Let's do this. Okay, that
That's
because
true.
it's true. It excites me when you find someone like Rebecca with a company that you hope you don't need, but you're glad you have them when you do. So
Thank you for
thanks,
having us,
everyone.
Tony.
Oh, thank you. That
Appreciate
was
it.
awesome. Hey, you're welcome. Okay, everyone, stay safe. We will get past this coronavirus thing. It's coming. We're going to get past it. Stay safe. You got the smoke issues. You're not sure. Contact Rebecca. I can say it 1,000 times, but you got to write down the number and just give her a call. Call, text her. You'll see she is this nice. I'm not kidding. It's true. It's amazing. You are a woman of your word, and I love that. I think you're great. So anyway, guys, take care. That's the end of this broadcast. More great stuff to come. Interesting, different tips, tricks, how-tos, ideas, suggestions, interviews, all that fun stuff. Hosted by me, Tony Babarino. Sorry about this, but I'm good for this. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Rebecca, hang on for a moment. Everyone else, take care. Have a great day.